there's really something to say about when you walk into a home. You may love the way it looks and everything, but until you walk into that home to see how it feels to you, you don't know 100% for sure.
It's
So
the
when
vibe check.
yeah, it's the vibe check. You have to have that vibe check.
All right. Okay, we are talking with Dawn today, and she is talking about one of her recent closings. So, Dawn, set the scene for us. What was going on? What were you and your client dealing with? Talk about talk about the process.
Okay, so this was a young couple that was relocating to the area. They had come down a couple of times, and I took them around, kind of gave them a tour of the area, helped them try to figure out what area that they wanted to live in, and showed them several houses on the two times that they were in town. And they were just really wanting to just think about things. They ended up going back to their home state, and they called me a couple of times to do some virtual tours of some homes that they saw that they thought might fit them and everything. Ultimately, they decided on one of the homes that we showed them while they were in town. Because I mean, there's really something to say about when you walk into a home. You may love the way it looks and everything, but until you walk into that home to see how it feels to you, you don't know 100% for sure.
It's
So
the
when
vibe check.
yeah, it's the vibe check. You have to have that vibe check. So we went under contract with it, and had of course went through the inspections and everything, and some things popped up on the inspections to where we had to get um, other professionals, like an HVAC company out there, an electrician out there, a roofer out there, to kind of just double check some things that were areas of concerns with the property. So, I mean, there wasn't, we had to get some estimates on things to see, when did these professionals feel how much longer these things would last,
Hmm.
whether or, and what it would cost for them to replace it. And we worked with the other agent, and we came to a happy medium on both sides as to, how that all went. And, you know, and it all ended up, closing well. Um, you know,
Sounds like some stuff was trying to go sideways. So
well,
what was so like you got the inspection? Did they start with a home inspection or did you see stuff like ahead of time where it was like, hey, definitely get the home inspection, but we're also going to need a roofer to come out or we're going to need a second situation? Like, did it start? How did the inspection process go?
from the beginning, we knew that the roof was older. You could
Sure.
just tell by looking at it that the roof was older. So we knew that that might be an area of concern that definitely wanted the inspector to take a look at. One of the things that popped up on inspection was that there was a hornet nest in the electrical box.
Oh, fun.
So that
That's a
couldn't be
great time.
so that couldn't be inspected. So we had to get that problem solved first before we could get it, double checked again that everything was okay there. But he was like, yeah, nope, not removing that one bit whatsoever.
Yeah, that's one where it's like would that I could
Yes,
inspect this for you. However, I'm not
yes,
messing with the Hornets today. That's their electrical box.
yes.
No more for me.
So I guess
Um,
the biggest concern was, whether the people wanted to be able to say, okay, do we want to come down a little bit on the price and then
mhm.
us deal with the problem down the road? Or do we want to try to negotiate, them fixing it and coming into it? Um, and of course, their insurance person didn't have the same opinion as the inspector.
I feel like insurance rarely will have
Yeah.
the same opinion as anybody.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, their interests are different
Yes.
than the buyer or the seller. So how did you as an agent handle that? Because I know it's always so I get nervous when it comes to inspections and appraisals because there's a lot of unknowns and it's really easy to like feed into panic instead of just treating those things as information because I'm trying to anticipate the conversation. So what as an agent, how did you handle the kind of uncertainty that came with that inspection process?
Well, number one, I had them speak directly with the home inspector
Mm-hmm.
to get his opinion so they could ask him questions and express their concerns, and he could explain in his own words what he was seeing what he felt.
Mm-hmm.
And then after we had the roofer come out, we got them on the phone with them too to get their opinion and everything. So, we just we presented that to the seller's agent. And of course, they came back with, well, our our insurance person sent someone out, and they don't feel the roof is that old. They don't feel that there's any issues with the roof. So they just had to kind of decide what route they wanted to go. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
It's all about pathways and decisions,
yes, yes,
making sure, and that's what I find brings the most ease to a transaction is being able to uh, give clear choices and informed and educated
right,
choices to whichever party that you represent so that way they can make the best decisions for themselves.
right, exactly, exactly. Giving them the opportunity to speak to those people, educating them about
Hmm.
everything. That way they can make an informed decision on their own, that feels right for them. Not only us,
Yeah.
it feels right for them.
Yeah.
And that's all we can really do is teach our clients the process, teach them everything that they need to know to be able to make those decisions with the right professionals and stuff. I mean, they did a number of things on their own. They chose their own home inspector. He was very detail oriented, and I
Hmm.
love that about clients. Some agents are like, oh, but he was very detail oriented. We gave him, our recommendations. He chose someone else to do the home inspection. I mean, even in the very beginning, when they were talking about putting an offer on the house, he pulled comps. And he's like, well, this house is 100,000 over. There's one that looks just like this for $100,000 less. And I'm like, okay, let me explain to you how comps work. How far is that home located from this home?
Hmm.
Is it 1 mile? Is it 5 miles? Is it 10 miles? How far is that your comp from that? And it was quite a ways away. So I kind of had
Hmm.
to explain to him that, okay, this is how the comps are pulled. It has to be within that neighborhood area within so many miles, and apples to apples,
Yeah.
it's apples to apples. So it was, teaching them that, helping them through the home inspection process. And ultimately they came to a decision to get the home. We had negotiated the price that they said that they would just deal with it, down the road when it was time for it to be dealt with. And they closed.
Yeah.
And now I'm working with the father that's moving to town.
Yeah, so you ended up getting a referral from a
Yes.
happy client. That's so great. So we talked about the home inspection bringing in some kind of alarming surprises. Were there any happy surprises in the process that was like, okay, yes, this works great for us. We're happy. Like, let's next thing.
Um, that the remodel was done with quality workmanship, because a
Great.
lot of times you see fix and flips, be just that, fix and flip.
Hmm.
Um, but, for them to realize that this house had been owned by the same family for a very long time, that it had been well taken care of over the years. Because you can tell if a home has been taken care of for 20 years versus a home that hasn't,
Hmm.
and that it did have really good bones, and that, the remodel that they had done was done properly.
Yeah. That's always such a hard piece when you're look like you see the words remodeled
Mhm.
or renovated, that it looks great. Anytime you see it, the pictures look fantastic. But again, as soon as you get in there and you start seeing some of the pieces that were missed, we see that a lot in the industry where things are just not Lipstick on a pig is a phrase for a reason.
Exactly. Exactly. So, because you walk in and of course when you walk in, everything's new and pretty and shiny and, new
Hmm.
countertops and new cabinets and everything. But
Yeah.
then you wonder, okay, what's in the walls? What's going on
Yeah.
with this and
Or
that?
you walk across the floor and you go straight, straight, straight down. I have
Exactly.
I'm very sensitive to like position changes in the floor. So
Mhm.
anytime it's a tell that I do, but I don't say it out loud. So if I'm walking with buyers into a home, I'm walking through places, and as soon as I feel a shift, I'm backing up and going back over the spot. So it's
Mhm.
like, was that me being dizzy or was that an actual shift in the floor? And 9 times out of 10, it's a shift in the floor.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
like, and you can like, then you start to look like, oh, wait, there's separation you can see. And like, it's, we can't say like, oh, there's actual, like, you can't say to what damage is happening, but it's like the home inspector will find that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel the shift in the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and those are all things that, we help them through the process of it because when you get any inspection, you know, so many people, especially first-time home buyers, think that, everything on that inspection report is an emergency and needs to be dealt with ASAP.
Hmm.
When in reality, it's kind of like you touch on, the five or six biggest things, the most expensive things,
Hmm.
and address those first, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Um,
For me, I try to tell clients about safety and like try to
yeah.
frame it that way. It's like, is there anything that is going to create an immediate safety issue?
Hmm.
Let's talk about those things.
Yes.
And then the rest of it is, yes, it's important, it needs to be addressed, but safety is the priority
Hmm.
in my
Yeah.
book. And so that's kind of how I would train somebody to do that. But it seems to go better when you frame it. It's like, okay, and I do an inspection call before, or like we talk about it before the inspection happens. I'm like, now remember, they're going to tell you literally everything,
Hmm.
as crazy as a foundation issue, as simple as a loose uh, electrical outlet.
A
And
loose toilet.
it's
A loose
a
toilet.
loose toilet.
Every house. Every
Every
house.
single one, there is a loose toilet. But like they're gonna find it all. And my job is to one, inform you that report is gonna look crazy scary, and
Hmm.
also the importance of reading it and looking for safety
Hmm.
concerns. Like if there is an electrical box that is outdated and the wires are crossed and the breakers are, wired open, that's a safety concern. You
Hmm.
know, if there are crossed wires in places or live wires, or if there's a hole in the ceiling, like those things are safety concerns. Is the foundation crumbling? That's a safety concern. Um, look for those things. And then the rest is needs to be addressed, but are we okay with it from there? And making sure that they can see those decisions clearly.
Right. Are those a honey-do list
Hmm.
type of things, or are those things that, like you said, a safety or a major fix that need to be addressed now? So,
Right.
and those are the things that, we always work through with the client and the home inspections.
Yeah, because that's one of the biggest contentions with a transaction is getting through the home inspection piece. And like I work primarily with sellers, so sellers are they hate the home inspection process. They understand it, but they hate the home inspection process because uh, it's now a point of like negotiation where the buyer is like, "Well, we want all of these things fixed," and it's
Right.
like I think our process as real estate agents in Tennessee is backwards, where we don't get a pre-listing home inspection before the house goes on the market. It's just not in the culture for us to do that. I think moving forward, I'm going to encourage that more
Mhm.
because it's better to know up front and tell the story than it is to pretend like nothing's wrong and
Yeah.
hope for the best, because that never works in anybody's favor. I've never once seen that work out.
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
So it sounds like that the transaction went really well. What do you think your clients would say about working with you now?
Hopefully that I gave them the education that they needed, got the people to them that could give them the answers that they needed.
Yeah. Making a smart decision instead of a rush one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's always my goal too. It's like I want you to be able to be confident in your decisions, not just like feel rushed in them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if another agent were in this exact situation, say one of our junior agents that comes up and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I have this issue. What do I do?" How do you help the agent navigate the transaction to better serve their client?
Help them find the electrician or the HVAC or whatever type of person they need out there. Help them find that and get a couple of estimates. Um, Tell them that, reach out to the other agent, let them know what's going on, that we need to get some more people out there and be upfront and honest with the other agent as to what's going on. As far as, hey, there were concerns with the roof, so we need to have a roofer go out there, and give them a heads up so that they can start doing their due process on their end too.
Hmm.
So that way it's just not dragging things out, and on day 10 we send them a thing as, oh, we want a new roof, and they're like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly. That I think that's part of like that's one of the hardest things as a listing agent is you've got that inspection period, no matter how long it is, 10 days, 14 days. Um, and then you hear nothing. You get the inspector scheduled because you have access to the property, so they're calling you to get access to the property, but then you hear nothing until it's like day 10, day 14, and then all of a sudden there's this like massive list of stuff and it feels like a blindside. So it makes it a little bit more challenging on the listing side to stay in contact with your seller and be like, hey, I've reached out, trying to make sure that they're staying updated, that it's not just things have fallen through the cracks and then all of a sudden it's a problem. Um, just like making sure that that you are calmly leading through the process.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations on your recent closing. I know that you've got more that are coming up. We've got agents that are doing great work at Knoxville Real Estate Professionals. So whenever you have a closing, let's talk about the next one.
Okay, awesome.